So number 18, the rite of passage. Okay. So, jot down all these different things, because you don't know now which ones you're going to need. Okay. But we'll also go through the requirements. Okay. So, the general idea. Everybody try. Beschreib deinen Schulweg.
Beschreib deinen Schulweg.
Literally it means describe your school path. So describe how you get to school. Okay, so this is giving instructions. It's not telling me that you take the bus or your mom drives you. Okay. So, basic requirements. Everybody's going to start and end with the same phrase. And you have to have 4 additional complete sentences in the middle there. So a minimum of 6 sentences on this one. Okay. So even if you live right up the street, you're going to have to come up with 4 different things to add it in there. Okay. But if you live further away, you don't have to add in as many things. Odds are good you can find the simplest route, even if it's not necessarily the one that you take. Okay. So the first phrase is going to be the one that says, from my house. And I'll give you that phrase in just a minute. So you'll say something like, from my house, go down whatever street. Or turn right onto blah, blah, blah street. Something like that. Okay? And at the end, you're going to say the school is on the left or right side, depending on which direction you come down the hills. Okay? So in the middle, you might have some other things. It might be something as basic, like if you are super close, and it's a straight shot down, 142nd or whatever, you might just say, go straight to the stop sign. Continue going straight. Go past the whatever. Those kinds of things. So you can add in little details there. Okay? Or even, the street 142nd changes names like 12 times depending on which direction you're coming from. Okay? Slight exaggeration, but not really. So you could change, continue on whatever street, so change up the name. So there are some options, okay? All right, so make sure you jot down, you have the starting phrase, you have the ending phrase, and you have 4 sentences in the middle. If you don't have those, it won't be approved. Okay? Everybody clear on those so far? Sure. Right. So, we're going to be using the command form, and it sounds a little scary because you're going to do a different kind of command than what you did before, but this one's actually easier. Okay, so we did the dust it off, the do form before. Okay? This one's easier because the verb is already conjugated. You don't have to do anything to it except for put it in front of the word Sie. So instead of Sie gehen nach Hause, you're going to say gehen Sie nach Hause. That's why punctuation matters so much. Because if you had gehen Sie nach Hause with a question mark at the end, then it's a question. If you have an exclamation mark at the end, now it's a command. Okay, so when you're using the formal, it's more of a suggestion. Okay, you're not going to be yelling at somebody in the command form necessarily. Okay, in the old Nazi movies, yes, but that's about it. Okay, so command form. So you're going to use the formal, okay, for all of these. So step 1 is conjugating the verb, just like you did before, but odds are good it's already conjugated. Okay. Step 2 is put the verb first. Then you have the Z and it's capitalized. Okay. Then you put down the rest of your sentence. So you should be jotting down these things so that you know how to do it. Okay. So, your first sentence is going to start with the phrase von meinem Haus. Everybody try that. Von meinem Haus. Okay, so how you decide how you're leaving your house is up to you. In most cases, you can just pretend you're standing right in front of your house, and you're in a car ready to go. Okay. I wouldn't say anything like from my house back out of the driveway into the, don't get complicated. Okay. Just say, go left onto whatever street or go straight or whatever. Okay. Whatever works for you. Okay. So, for example, you could say von meinem Haus biegen Sie links ab. Okay. And that means from my house turn left. Done. Okay? The final phrase that you're going to say is die Schule ist auf der, and then you'll choose linken or rechten, and then Seite. What do you think linken and rechten? Left and right. Yep. Okay, so the school is on the left. Oh, wow. I just rewrote it in German. Or the right side. Okay. So make sure you jot both of them down, just in case. You probably already know which one you'll use, but So we're going to go through some random other phrases that you're going to need. Okay? Now, the thing to keep in mind is that when you're giving directions to somebody, for the most part, you need go, drive, and turn. All right? That's about the only verbs that you will need. Okay? We're going to eliminate drive because it's essentially the same thing as go. Okay? So we're just going to use go and turn. Okay? If you need something other than that, we can talk about it, but you probably don't. Okay? So, so everybody try that one. Biegen Sie blank ab.
Biegen Sie blank ab.
Okay. So this is a separable verb, so that ab needs to be at the end. Okay. This is how you're going to tell somebody to turn. Okay. So if you want to tell somebody to turn left, it's going to be slightly different than it was when you're talking about what side of the street the school is on. Okay, so you'll say biegen Sie links ab. If you don't need to say the name of the street, like if you say, you know, go one intersection, turn left, that's fine. Or if it's a T intersection, you don't need to tell them, you know, that they could keep going straight or whatever, that's fine. Or if you say go to the stoplight, turn left, that's fine. Okay? But they need to be able to follow these instructions. So if there's a chance they could be making a left on multiple streets, then you need to specify somehow which street that is. Okay? So if you want them to turn right, you would say biegen Sie rechts ab. Okay? To tell them what the street is a common thing. You would say in die, and then just like we did for the home address and stuff like that, simplify the address. Okay? So in die Azaleastrasse ab, or whatever, in Doddstrasse ab. Okay, so avoid the boulevard, the court, the north, the east, the south, the west, and all that jazz. Okay, keep it basic. Okay. If you're telling somebody to turn, though, you do need to use the biegen. You can't say, like you do in English, go, like we say go left at the stoplight or whatever. You need to say turn left. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay. Check your IE as well. A lot of people flip-flop the I and the E on there. So it's pronounced B, like bzz, or the letter. Okay?
Did you say 40s, 45, 42, or County Road 42?
We're going to get there. Okay? All right, so if you want to tell somebody to go, like go straight, or go to the stop sign, or whatever else, then you'll say gehen Sie. Okay, so everybody try that, gehen Sie. Okay? So again, remember, it cannot be used to tell somebody to turn. But you could use it with something like gehen Sie geradeaus. Go straight. Okay? Everybody try this word, geradeaus. Try again, geradeaus. Okay? If you want to tell them to go straight on a particular street, then that would be this part. Auf der Azaleastrasse, or whatever. Okay, so they are different. If you're turning, it's in die, and if you're already on it, then it's auf der. So it's a little bit different than in English. Okay. Weiter means continue, but it's not a verb. So you have to say, gehen Sie weiter geradeaus. Continue going straight, or whatever. Okay. Odds of you needing weiter are pretty slim. Okay. But just remember, it's not the verb. So you have to have the gehen Sie anyway. Okay. We'll get to the county roads and all that jazz in a second, but for numbered streets, don't forget, it's just the full number. Okay, so 140, for example. Okay. This time, though, it's just going to end in the STE. There's no N at the end of it. If you're going to ask about county roads or whatever, just wait a second. But if this is just a regular, if it doesn't have another name for it, huh? Which is also county roads, so you might want to see what your other choice is before you decide. Okay? But if 145th, or like 142nd, for example, does not have an alternative name for that part, so you would need the number. Okay? So then you would say, biegen Sie links in die 142. Straße, whatever. Okay? All right, random other vocabulary that might be helpful to you. Okay, so if you want to say until, like go straight until the stop sign, the stoplight, whatever it might be, that word is bis. Okay, everybody try that, bis.
Bis.
Okay. Germans don't say go 3 blocks, they say go 3 intersections. Okay, so Kreuzung is the word for intersection. Okay, so you could use that differently. So you could say, until the 3rd intersection or something like that. If you don't want to say the street name, that's fine. Okay? And you have the word for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and all that jazz when we did birthdays and stuff like that. So you should have written it down then. So you can go back to those notes. Okay? Everybody try that one. Die Kreuzung. Okay. Stoplight is the word die Ampel. Okay, try it. Yeah, everybody. Die Ampel. Okay, so you could also say go straight to the stoplight. Okay. Or go straight to the stop sign. Okay, so try that. Das Stoppschild. Okay, so not stop shield, but Stopp. Stoppschild.
So it's not stop child.
Stops child. No, it's not. It's not stops child. Stopp shield. Okay. Now, county roads and highways. Okay. They have slightly different nomenclature for this, so we're going to simplify it, and we're going to call it a Hauptstrasse. Okay, everybody try that. Hauptstrasse. Okay, so for example, Robert Trail. You could either call it Hauptstrasse 3, or you could call it Robertstrasse. Your choice. Okay, or County Road 46, Hauptstrasse 46, or 160. Straße. Okay, so whichever works for you is fine by me. They're used for both. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. If you want to say at, like turn left at the stoplight or whatever, you're going to use the word by. You can see it in both of these. Oops. Okay. But if you have a das or a der word, so if you're going to say at the stop sign, you would use the top one because stop sign is a das word. So beim Stoppschild. Okay. If it's a D word, like Ampel or Kreuzung, then you would say bei der. Trust me, you don't want to know why yet. Just use the notes to figure out which one is correct. Okay? Okay. There's a map. This is for you, so you can figure out a little bit more. So, okay. What we were talking about before, that 142nd changes names multiple times. I wasn't sure if any of you were actually aware of that. So, okay. So 142nd. Oh, I have a laser pointer. For this section, so right in front of the school, so kind of between the tops of the hills, okay, is actually 142nd Street. Okay. From there, if you go up the hill towards the softball field, once you get to that first stop sign, or where the first intersection is, rather, okay, so then there up to County Road 42 is Chile Avenue, okay, and from 42 and beyond, it's called Chippendale. Okay, so if you live further out and you drive down the street, like a lot of people do, you can just pick one. You don't have to say, oh, that's changing names now. Continue going straight on Chile. Continue going straight on 142nd, as long as you have your 4. Okay, so that's what I mean by simplifying it. But if you live, here, and you don't have a whole lot of choices in what your 4 additional sentences are going to be, you could consider saying, continue straight onto Chile Street. Continue straight onto 142nd Street. And that's how you can get your extra 4 sentences in. Okay? So, you guys, the joy of the iPads is that you can look up the instructions yourself, find out what you need, okay? But just remember the basics, okay? So Highway 3 or Robert Trail, this is 145th, and this is the multi-named street. So then just make sure you ended up with the school is on the left side or the right side. Okay? Fragen?